Welcome back, creators. I'm so excited to be bringing to you the third and final masterclass in the series for the creator. This one here is a really big one. I've talked about all the different things that you need to go through, your mission, the foundations to create a really good base for your online business. This one here takes it up another notch. Okay, it's really important that once you've gone through the basic parts of your foundation, that the next step that you really focus in on is what is it that I personally need to do to make my business. And now, if you're starting at zero or you're on 5K, 2 to 5K months, then this is for you. I'm definitely speaking loudly to you, because the difference between you whacking it up to make consistent 10 and 20K months has everything to do with this video here today. So I've said welcome back. I've talked a lot about building your legacy, and I'm going to assume that most people here are over 35. And the reason why they're doing this is not just to throw a few dollars in the bank, but they want to create something that their children can be proud of, and perhaps they leave a legacy. So for me, that's been really big in the whole creation of the creator and this program. I've really kept it at an extremely low price for the intensity of what's involved in this particular course. It's only going to be available at this point to the end of April. So if you need to speak to me about it, please DM me and ask me questions as soon as you can. Okay, so we've gone through video 1, mission, impact, visibility, and what your key knowledge is. Number 2 was the system strategies and what equals sales. And today we're going to talk about creation, serving, and scaling. And with all of that comes influence. And it honestly depends on your business. But let's roll this down. What you ultimately want is beyond that lower scale, right? Because I'm going to be really honest with you, if you're starting from zero, 6 figures does sound amazing, but real TV is that you're going to have expenses and so on. So you're going to get to 6 figures and you're going to want to quickly grow past that. But however, the systems are different from 0 to 6, from 6 to 7. Okay, so that's the thing that we're really going to focus on today. And I've really talked about soft skills plus your key knowledge a lot, because none of us can build a legacy until we understand what the big picture is of our business, with our mission, the type of authority that we need to be putting out there, the positioning of our business. Seriously, take that very seriously, because companies pay tens of thousands of dollars to get the right positioning for their company. So you need to know that if you're trying to work that out by yourself, if you're struggling, it's only because you don't know what you don't know. And almost any entrepreneur will tell you that. You've probably done courses. You're probably wondering why courses haven't worked for you. I'm telling you 1000%, it's because you have not worked with anybody that can pull out the right positioning for your company. Once you do that, everything changes. And money can be made very, very quickly. Back in the day when I started, it was a big deal to get to the first 6 figures in a year, trying to learn all the stuff that you have to learn to sell on social media. But today, you can get to 6 figures very fast. You could sell that in 30 days. You could get to $1 million in anywhere between 1 to 3 years. So my point is that money is not made by a quick free masterclass, or whatever it is that you've currently been doing, or little DIY courses. It's actually intensely working on your mission, your authority, your finishing, how visible you are, the impact that you want to make, and what type of influence your business needs in order to get you to the dollars that you want to make. Now, I know that I talked about this in the last video, but I'm going to bring it back up again. Some businesses are not looking for millions of dollars. they're looking for just a wage, right? Or, a nice income. Or this is only one part of their whole strategy. So that needs to be determined, because otherwise what will happen, you're running around throwing up posts and you're praying and hoping that somebody will become your client. And that's actually not the ideal way to make six figures. The ideal way to make six figures is to work out how you can help one person, and then it doesn't even require a post on social media at all. So I need you to know that some of you are going about your business in the wrong way, because you're looking from the outside in instead of really talking about what is it that your big picture is. What do you want to achieve? And when I spoke with Jill, Jill needed a little bit of convincing to really know that and understand why her methodology needed to be nothing like throwing posts on social media. There's one thing that she had tried before, and this is the reason why she thought this just doesn't work, and I bet you guys are in this category too. She had thought, I've lost a lot of weight, I've really changed my mind, so I can help other people, yada, yada, yada. And she tried that for a whole year and nothing happened. And the reality is that wasn't her best gift. It really wasn't. It was something awesome that she did for herself. But when she realized selling it, I'll be really flat out honest with you, I don't think she was ever passionate about it. Just because we know how to do something doesn't mean we should make a business out of it. And that's something that I think when you dig deep and work with someone else, you can really sort of nut that out pretty quickly and work out what is it that you really want to achieve. So I bring this up a lot because not every business that I work with, in fact, a lot of them never need a social media strategy. When I worked in properties, there's no social media strategy. It's got nothing to do with that at all. It's absolutely to do with the system, a methodology and a system that we follow that makes six figures plus. Right, that's it. It's as simple as that. My consultants, they don't need a social media strategy. They need a really good media marketing strategy, but they definitely don't need a social media strategy at all in order for their businesses to grow. And I'll show you some proof of that a little later on. Now, here's the reality. Most coaches are either not earning money, I'm generalizing here, but I'm being really frank, or they're earning under 30K USD per year. So most of these people will never see this type of sale. And it's not because they haven't got it in them. It's because they're flat out marketing the wrong products, services, and themselves in the wrong manner. So marketing is really a degree, and this is something that I really want to make sure that I impress on you today, that it goes outside of coaching programs and products and creating things. It's a big thing to get your business positioned correctly so that you're selling to the right people at the right time. Most importantly, I think a lot of you are trying to do this based on not having enough knowledge, and that's going to always hold you back. If today I'm feeling a bit strong and being a bit blunt, it's because I wholeheartedly know from many years of experience and working with women, even currently right now as we speak, that have still not made any money on social media. This is a really big deal that you know this, that this can go on for years and years and years, and you keep thinking it's something else that I need to learn or whatever the case may be, and that's not true at all. Okay, it's not true at all. It's not you learning another strategy or methodology that's going to change it. It's you actually understanding and making your business positioned and visible to what it is that you should be selling rather than what you think you need to sell. Okay, six figures versus seven figures. I want to explain this because a lot of times people get confused when they hear the word scale and so on. They think, oh yeah, I want to do that. But if you are in the 0 to 6 figures, you aren't scaling at the moment. You're building. So the biggest thing that you need is the foundations to your business, your products and services, and a client generating methodology and strategy so that you can bring in clients because that's your main goal. From 0 to 6, bring in clients, bring in clients, bring in clients. 6 to 7 is when you develop your own system based off your experience from doing the 0 to 6, and that's when you scale. And for some people, they'll, have a team that'll help them grow. You don't have to have a team to have $1 million business at all. Again, it comes back to the type of business that you are building. But a lot of the times that I see in the coaching world, people are building businesses that are really complex. Like they are building membership sites way too early in their business. That's a lot of work. Every month you have to continue to add to that. That's really not what I would call a good coaching business. I would call that a good doing business. There are far better ways for you to create the money that you need, that's step one, and then the methodology, and then the right scaling, the right system so that you scale to grow your first $1 million online. I want you to know, and I want to repeat this over and over again, time is irrelevant, but it's not irrelevant as in sit back and, take it easy and this thing's going to fall in my lap. That's not it at all. I'm talking about time being irrelevant by the fact that it's a mindset that will grow you from 0 to $1 million. You need to change a lot of things about what you're doing in order to get that $1 million. It is not what you think it is. Otherwise, if it was, you'd already have the $1 million, right? So I want to stay firm on this. There is a little bit of hustling in that earlier time. And if you're not doing that, then it's going to be hard for your business to really expand quite quickly. So let's talk about why most businesses need a really good marketing and social media strategy, because Jill's type of business is not most businesses. Jill's type of business is a small percentage of businesses. But I'll guarantee you, and I can think of a couple of people immediately that are in this group right here, right now, that actually have the type of business that they don't need to go out on social media to make a large sum of money. They just don't know it, because they're looking at what they think they can sell, and that's definitely not how to build a business. So building a business online today is much more than what should I post, right? It's got nothing to do with that at all. If that's what you're thinking, you're using the hope method, and it's really not going to get you very far very quickly. You do need to invest in real business and marketing skills to sell your work. You'll need how to learn how to create irresistible and unforgettable programs, right? It must be a combination of those words. And then you need to know how to upsell, downsell, cross-sell, and over time, remember I said that 7-figure business, you need to know how long your customer cycle is, or what the lifetime is of your customer is. And the last thing you need is a cookie cutter program. You can take my word for it that out of the couple of hundred people that are currently in this group as we're speaking, probably 3/4 of them have done a cookie cutter program, and they're wondering why it hasn't worked for them. It's because I'm going to go all the way back to a couple of slides. You haven't actually sat down and worked out what is it that your business does properly and positioned it so that you can sell your work. In my work, it doesn't matter what you buy, you'll be treated like a VIP. Really, that's just how it is here. And the reason for that is because anything that I teach you, I want you to help other people by doing the same thing, right? Using the same methodologies, using the same help, using the same, like, doesn't matter whether it's $30, 300, 3,000, 30,000, 300,000. It doesn't matter what you pay me. Honestly, you will be treated in the same manner. And that's super important to know and understand that you are not a number. You are not shoved in a program. You're not sitting there waiting for the next monthly call to know what to do in your business next. Like, that's a whole load of bullshit. Okay. No one makes money in that sort of environment. So having said that, the one thing that you are going to need the most is The ability to hold yourself and choose your personal growth and not lose yourself for years. Because that's very, very common online. People get so into all of the marketing messages that are out there that they literally get lost and their business doesn't build at all. So there's that part. You are going to be challenged. You need to be personally pushed, right? This is not about money. If your mind has been, oh, I can't afford this, that's another problem again, right? Because you need to be able to afford to invest in your business, in mentorship, in programs, and in marketing skills, strategies, systems, and so on. There are a lot of people out there these days that are doing similar things. So what makes your work irresistible and unforgettable? What is it that makes that? And if you are not getting clients beating down the door, it's because you haven't worked on that part on your business. But I want to take this a step further. Most people are actually really scared and they're way too comfortable, no matter where they are right now, to look at what stops them when the going gets tough. And it could be physical, it could be mental, it could be emotional. But that's where most people are sitting. They're sitting in their comfort zone and they're scared to take steps because instead of thinking, what if this works? They're spending more time thinking about what if this fails? You can't build something bigger than your comfort zone. Okay, end of story. Your comfort zone is what's setting the stage for how much money you're earning, and you're actually allowing fear to drive your decisions rather than, honestly, when you make a decision, you just have to back it. If you're scared and you're sitting there, doing the hope thing, then the problem is that your mind is always stuck on, like a record, a needle on a record. You're just stuck in that one spot. And it literally means that you're not willing to get outside of your comfort zone and just do something, anything, anything at all. And so what I want to talk about is I want to go back to, people like Jill. They don't just watch my videos and stop there. Think that it's nice and then they don't take any action. People like Jill go through this over and over and over and over again. In fact, so many times that they're quickly able to implement and learn fast week by week. And I tend to encourage that because I know in the past I've done a 6-week course and ended up with $22,000, which is not, anything to write home about, but it's definitely enough money to say that implementing each week by week by week and getting $22,000 at the end of that, it's not watching the videos, right? It's implementing the stuff that I'm being taught every single week. That's money at the end of the 6 weeks. If you're watching the videos and stopping, or whatever it is, that's actually staying in your comfort zone. Okay, so Jill's not the only one. I've worked with other people before, and I know I brought this up in my past videos. The people that I help work the most are professionals. And the reason why they work best for me, or we work best together, for me, I've actually analysed that these people know how to get results. They've got them somewhere before. So if you haven't developed that in your life, I want you to start looking back and seeing patterns of behaviour that have made you stop. Example, buying a course, watching the video, doing something, and then going, and you stopped. Whatever the reason was, and you stopped, right? Because the next step is you've got to get really comfortable and ask for help. Even if it makes you feel uncomfortable, you need to get comfortable in asking for help. So the question is going to be, what do you do when you get stuck? And I'm going to talk about, another client and this statement down the bottom here. her name's Paula. I'm going to show you a quick study a little bit later down the track. She was the person that I thought was the least likely to succeed in my property renovation course. And I'll explain why. She had never even attempted to do some sort of home reno or, design course or anything like that. She came into my course with the direct thought that I'm going to learn how to do this and then I'm going to buy a house, I'm going to renovate it, and I'm going to make money. And she didn't just think that and then go away and watch my videos and, completely stop in her tracks. She actually got to the point after she went through the course, and then we continued to work together for a little bit longer. And this girl, she really did things that other people did not do at all. But one day she rang me and she said, look, I'm looking at a couple of houses. It's in Melbourne. So I'm in Sydney, Australia, for all of you guys and girls that are overseas. This lady lives in another state. She said, I've got a couple of houses. Is there any chance you could help me, go through and choose one? And what she meant by that is choose one to make money. Short story long, yes, we did. She worked with me for a year. She made $200,000 on that property. And then the 12 months from zero, like I don't know how to do any of this, from zero to she started her consulting business. Within 3 years, it was $1 million business. Okay. This is where your mind needs to go. It needs to go like bang, implement, bang, implement, bang, implement, money. Okay, right, next stage. What else do I need to do? Bang, implement, bang, implement. The faster that you get your mind moving in the direction that it is forward, it's not sitting back. You don't have to sit back. You don't have to write a business plan. You don't have to do any of those things. You need to have an idea and then implement it immediately. This is the difference between just getting by, like living on a wage, and growing $1 million business. In my world, those that really go VIP and treat their business as it should be treated, they're the ones that succeed. It's never, ever because you have to work hard, you have to post and pray, you have to think about this. It's none of those things at all. It's everything to do with your mind and your ability to take something to another level. Because what's going to happen when you do that is that your marketing and all the things that you're putting into place, stuff's going to happen to you that's going to blow your mind, right? When I first started the Reno Chick, which I mentioned to you guys and girls in the previous video, I really wanted to get some local attention, like, get into the local newspapers. Well, I do have a daughter that's a journalist, not anymore, but she was in those days. And I said to her, you know what I have to do? So she put me in front of her editor, and he was a family friend of ours, but he was really blunt. He said, Kath, I can't do anything that puts your business or seems to favor your business. However, if you come to me and you have got really good results from a client or something like that, and it's information that could benefit the whole community, like all of our town, I'd be happy to run the story on you. And so I spoke about this in my other videos because it's imperative to know that whatever it is that you are teaching, that you have knowledge and results from it. So that's what Jeff, his name was, the editor of the local magazine, the Macarthur Advertiser, he said to me, in other words, if you can show me a story of a client that you got amazing results for, I'll put you in the newspaper. And so that's what I did. And I then expanded, like, somebody knew somebody else and so on. And I started to get a few little local stories. And I tell you, I was tickled pink. That was good enough for me. I thought, if this grows my business, like in those days, it was a consulting business. I could literally only go within an hour's radius. So if I created this little bubble for myself that I was the only person that people would come to, when they needed this type of help with properties, then that's it. I'd be happy. But what actually happened was none of that. Over time, I worked with a mentor, and I built a Facebook page and I built a community. I wasn't selling anything to that community. I just built them. I gave them all the stories of all the houses that we were renovating and making money on, yada, yada, yada. Anyway, one day, out of the blue, I did run ads, by the way, on Facebook and so on. Out of the blue, I had an email from Sky News, which is that first picture there, which said, we'd like to invite you onto the program and talk about, renovating houses for profit. And I never expected that at all. That's a national television show in Australia. And from there, we did, property magazines that just blew up. In that picture, in the second picture, some of those magazines are actually my clients. So when I taught other people how to do this consulting business, then they got results and I got them media as well, because by then I had this long list of names and so on that, I could just literally say, hey, listen, I've got a girl. She's in Perth. She just made 95K. Are you interested? And they'd be like, yeah, send me the details. So here's my point. This is how your business blows up and goes from local to national to international. Okay, it happens because of where you're positioning yourself in the beginning. So remember, right back at the beginning, I was dreaming about getting in some local newspapers and, getting the word out there. I definitely never dreamed about national television. But what I'm saying to you is that what happened because of the work that I put in, it just exploded. Right? I was on local radio. I was a resident renovation expert on one of the radio stations in Newcastle, which is a little bit from Sydney. I got international stories, and all of this happened not because I said, can I have a story or whatever. That was my first thing when I had to learn the rules of what it actually takes to be in the media and, what they're looking for. And here's my point. This will happen because of where you want to grow your business, like in your mind first, in your imagination first. It will start there, and then your marketing will literally just take care of itself. So what started to happen after a period of time, so after maybe 2 years of this type of stuff, I mean, people were paying me 20 grand and 25 grand, and that was for just this property knowledge. There was other stuff that I did that was far exceeded that, but I'm just talking in the way of programs and, things that you could expect to happen to you within a short space of time if you understand that it's the foundations and the results that you get that can change everything for your business. And, some of you are going to say maybe it's because it's a niche or whatever. All of that's bullshit. When I see people on shows like, example, The Biggest Loser and, the celebrity trainer, you could be that person if you set yourself up correctly in the beginning. Okay, it's never because it's airy-fairy, I just want to do this, I want to empower or whatever. Empowerment and inspiration comes naturally when you get results. So people will automatically feel empowered and inspired around you because you're doing something that most people are not doing. So super important to understand the background, the hows, the whys. So why you should be creating and selling from your knowledge first. That's why, right? No one gets known because they became an instant celebrity or an instant guru. Before that happened, they had a whole past and they'd learned key knowledge which helped move them into that, personal development growth coach. I just want to use someone that was my mentor again, and that's Bob Proctor, who became a world leader in personal development. He didn't start like that. He started just like you and I, but he got some key knowledge, and this is actually how Bob first made money. He was taught the principles from Think and Grow Rich. Short story, this one, but he was taught the principles, and he didn't take the principles of Think and Grow Rich and go, I'm going to go and teach this. What he did was he came up with an idea to create a cleaning business, and he knew that he didn't want to clean, or do that type of business, but what he did was he put together a team and he grew that. And within, I think, his first year, he went from I don't know. I think it was a lot of money back in his day, but he made, example, $100,000 in his first year. I can't remember the exact figures. I should have thought about that before I jumped on here, but I forgot. Here's my point. He didn't try to become a personal development guru before he understood how to turn key knowledge into something that's powerful, right? And key knowledge is an actual talent or skill plus your personal development. But people will be attracted to you because of the way you speak. They will be empowered. They'll be inspired. So I just wanted to quickly throw that in. What you need as a coach or consultant or anything is a product suite that takes your customer on a journey from low to high easily. And low, most of you are accustomed to free. And I definitely started this in this particular group free, but I'm going to be introducing you to a low ticket product in the weeks to come. That is something that if you have been curious about any of my teachings, you buy that, you'll jump in, you'll learn it. And what will happen is that it will inspire you to decide whether you'd like to buy either more of my products and services or my highly valuable high ticket program. And that's ultimately your highly valuable high ticket program, product, service, doesn't matter what it is, that you can close with the right offer is absolutely the fastest way to your next 6 up to 7 figures. Some people do this super fast. So that's the type of influence you need to create. And it honestly doesn't have to take a real long time. I think sometimes the time it takes is, I'm going to go back to my earlier statement, it's our ability to get out of our current comfort zone. You getting a little bit uptight and thinking, oh yeah, I really need to get this done every now and again is not the key to a long-term business. The key to a long-term business is you living and breathing and this becoming, the very essence of your soul. That is really what inspires people to work with you. So let me talk about a coach case study, because you guys have known I've worked with property people, I've worked with consultants and coaches, but it doesn't matter to me who the person is, meaning what their background is, meaning whether they are coaching or consulting or whatever the case may be. It does actually mean a little bit about what's behind that, because it's what's behind that, their key knowledge, that's my superpower. I can help them turn that into magic money in a very short space of time. So Carol is an school principal, and she then did a whole bunch of hypnotherapy courses and, all of these types of things. She just blew a ton of money, an absolute ton of money on Facebook ads. She did get some $97 sales, but there was literally no authority, expertise, positioning around her whatsoever. In fact, I probably wouldn't have brought Carol's $97 program, not because it may or may not have been worth it, but I couldn't find out anything about Carol that would have made me feel that that was something that I would do with her. I tend to feel that something like hypnotherapy or any sort of, thing that's like that is very personal. It's a bit like going to the doctor. So you kind of want to know that this person is trustworthy and maybe they have good reviews, yada, yada. Anyway, so she had spent years, I mean literally years, trying to sell. I put my coaching program, that's on it. It's her coaching program. When she signed up to a program that it used to have called Visionary Sales. And what happened? All the other programs that she'd been doing had started her from, zero over and over and over and over again. So the poor thing, she would constantly get overwhelmed and confused every time she started from zero again. Like she'd literally spent years on a mouse wheel. Well, when you join the Morrissey Method Mastermind, we don't start there. We actually work out your key knowledge. We work out how to quickly put this into something that you can sell immediately and get sales first. And I'll explain why that's super important in my thinking. Carol has already developed this whole story and had a whole bunch of events around the fact that she can't sell a coaching program. So if I can't sharply adjust her reality quickly, the problem is she'll continue to tell that story for many years to come. Now, I want to say it's not one sale. Some people do get a little bit cocky and they think, okay, I know how to do this, and fall apart, 15 days later. You got the wrong attitude if that's what you're thinking. You actually need to know that this is the beginning and I'm working with somebody, and now I need to know how to repeat that over and over again. And I need to build my positioning, my visibility, and now I'm building my business. It's two very different people, okay? Someone that's after a fast buck and then thinks they know it all, that's your ego still getting in the way, and you're going to struggle a lot in this industry if that's the case. But the other person that says, okay, now I've got that sale, I've actually shifted my reality. I know now that my coaching program sales. How do I create a business out of that from here on in? So prior to that, she was selling like, $297 was a special offer that she had running on the internet. 250 to 300 was average. We worked together. There's a lot of mind shifts that need to happen in a very fast period of time to get to money if you've never had money. And I want you to know that to some people that is jarring because they've spent years in a different circumstance. And it definitely, really jolted her, a few of the things that we talked about, but she definitely was up for the challenge. So we quickly wrote 2 programs, a 5 and a 10. And of course, she still had her other things that she had going on. Within, I think it was about 2.5 months to be exact, she sold 12K. Okay. So there's a big difference from spending, I think she'd spent 35, 40, 50 grand before in courses, her hypnotherapy studies and so on. And she'd never sold anything beyond a few $100. So this is super important to know that it's what you don't know is the only reason you're not selling your programs yet. Let's talk about consultants, because some of you people will be better consultants than you will be coaches. Although there's a good chance you'll combine the both, particularly online. But let's just cut this right down to pure consulting, because that's where I started. I started from knowledge, results, and then teaching other people how to get results. And literally I was consulting the whole time. Anyway, this was a cold lead straight from a Facebook ad. She had a dream, but not the know-how to achieve it. So, and I've already spoken, she's already had, she had to learn how to get the skills first, purchased a property just months into the program. And what happened, I started to notice that there was a running theme in my, group. And that's that there was people that kind of wanted to be like me. They wanted to be renovation consultants. And so she was one of my early adopters, of this program. There was a few of them that did this. And what happened was that once they learnt the key knowledge and they made money. Like I had a really strict rule. And that's why I stick with it with coaches as well. I have very, very strict rules in the mastermind. And that's that. You must know how to make money before I take you to the next step. So she made money and then created the new business. And literally there's a timeline, that is that's down there, year 1, year 2 to 3. And now she has quite a big multi-million dollar business. This was a couple of years back. My point really is that you must understand the methodology towards your knowledge, turning that into, building that into a business. And I'm going to tell you that this girl, she didn't stop. She just really pounded to make year 2 and 3 a success. Every day she would get up and she would do anywhere between 20 and 100 cold calls every single day. Now, that's definitely not a methodology that I teach. It's not part of what I do in my world, but it's definitely a part of what she needed to do in order to create her consulting business. And I'm all for it. Like, it depends on your business. Your strategy comes down to what type of business you want to do. So we talked about this, and the fact that not only was she able to do it, she just didn't give up on doing it. She got up every single day and did what she needed to do in order to, grow a multi-million-dollar business. So my point really is in that step one is always your foundations. So I'm assuming you've got key knowledge, but you want to turn that key knowledge into a foundations for a six-figure business. And in the creator, that's the foundations, right? Flat out, it's the foundations for a business if you're starting from zero. It's probably, at this point, it's going to be the only time I'm running this 6-week course. I may change my mind later. I don't know. We'll see. But currently, it's in the group. There's a PDF in there to learn more. Please read it. If you need to start somewhere, you don't have a big budget, then start there. Because in the creator, there's so many bonuses that you could be out selling mini workshops very, 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 very fast. You could easily get back your money quite quickly. Okay, so that's right now. It's only going to be open till the 30th of April. Coming up, the launch matrix. This is literally the program that started me on that first 6 figures. So it goes beyond, we definitely talk about the right courses to be selling and so on, but it goes beyond that. It's a complete launch system. Okay, so that one's coming up, right? These are courses. I do want to make this really, really clear. These are courses, and so there'll be group environments or there'll be parts where you are self-studying. But however, in the launch matrix, you're going to learn how to collapse time. Now, that's super important because if you've been struggling and, really taken a long time to get there, we're going to learn how to collapse time. And this is going to be for a particular bunch of you, and that'll be in the most business part. Remember, we talked about there's a smaller part where there is a limited number of people that would not use this. Most businesses. This is for most online coaching, consulting, teaching, course creating businesses. The launch matrix is going to be out of this world. You'll love it. So it's the fast track. It really is the fast track. For me to learn this way back in 2015, I think, I paid $3,500 USD for this course. I was probably the only person that made money within 6 or 8 week period, and most people had totally missed out on the foundations, and that course didn't include it. They were still struggling a year later. So it wasn't that there was anything wrong with the course, and I want to be really clear about this because some of you have had bad experiences, but I think the bad experiences is not understanding that there's foundational work before you launch. And so that's particularly why I've decided to open this in this way, so that you guys can really learn that there's a lot to learn, but what do I need to do first? And step one is definitely the foundation. Step two is launching in a big way. When this video ends, are you beginning to create a new reality? I wanted to come back on and just give a different ending to the original part of the series. And the reason is because some of this is going to change at the end of April and it'll be no longer valid. And some of it you'll be able to see a big picture. Right? So let's just stick with the creator for a moment. The creator was originally and always intended to be an online course, a DIY. But when I launched it, I really wanted to help people even more. And so I launched it with some one-to-one in there, as well as a very, very cheap price. From the 30th of the 4th, 2024, This course will have 0 one-to-one in it as well. What will also happen is that it'll be a $9.97 USD course, which will be somewhere around the 13 to 1500 Australian price point. And the reason is because my role isn't to spend a lot of time on low ticket courses with people. My gift to the world is always working with you on a much higher level. But I understand that everybody has to start somewhere, and I know for me, I definitely had to start somewhere too. And the somewhere that I realized as time went on was when I say start somewhere, it was actually with my limited thinking. Like, how much do I want to invest in this thing? Oh, I don't want to invest too much because maybe it won't work out. And in actual fact, what I realized as the years went on and I grew to a better mindset and I worked with bigger and bigger and bigger mentors, that money had nothing to do with it. That was my limited thinking that I was using to create the wrong impression. So if you are there, I hope that this starts to open up your mind, the whole series. If you need to DM me and chat about anything, please do it anytime. I'm on Facebook. You can definitely send a message. Okay, let's talk about the next thing that's coming. It's called the Launch Matrix. And I want to show you how to collapse time and launch a high ticket course that sells fast. And it has nothing to do with social media, creating posts or anything like that. You're going to be pleasantly surprised at how I've taught a lot of my students how to launch a new business and literally get clients within 30 to 90 days. It depends on them often. And it's big ticket sales. So I want to teach you something that's totally different from the average launch course out there. Collapsing time is everything in order for you to gain momentum in your business and, of course, money. So let's talk about why I'm really here in this ending of the video. I want to teach you that when you create, serve, scale, and influence, that's the foundation for anything you want. 10K months, 20, 50, 100, it really doesn't matter. You get to choose that. This is your reality, not mine. But that's the words that you need to focus on. You do not want to be focusing on your lack thinking. That's going to keep you exactly where you've always been. I want to introduce you to the Morrissey Method. This is my one-to-one mastermind. It's a complete mastermind. I really want to say that. There's nothing in here that's missed. It's going to give you a framework. The framework that you need to create $1 million business. And it can be a coaching business, a consultancy. It could be that you're a service provider and you want to know how to do that differently. The Morrissey Method is definitely there for you, and you can DM me at any time. If you are newish to entrepreneurship, what you may not know yet is this. Big brands pay tens of thousands of dollars to have the right positioning, authority, and messages created for their business offers. Doesn't matter what they're selling, right? I'm going to say it again. Big brands pay tens of thousands of dollars for positioning, authority, and messaging. Those three things are the most important foundation for any business, period, but particularly for online business in order to, get through all the noise that's out there. So if you felt stuck on your brand, your message, and you keep flipping around, don't feel bad, okay? Because honestly and truly, it's that you don't know what you didn't know until now you know it. It's as simple as that. But more to the point, now that you know it, what are you going to do to change it? Here's what I want you to do. If you have any thoughts at all of working with me, I want you to DM me as soon as you can. Because the faster that you make decisions, the faster you become a real entrepreneur. My mastermind clients typically go from, some of them starting from zero, some of them are at 2K, some are at 5K, some are at $97. Doesn't matter what it is. And they want to get in the fastest, quickest possible time their goal. Could be 10, could be 20, could be 50, could be 100K in 90 days or less. There's a lot that you need to wrap your mind around, not just that one sentence. If it was that easy, everyone would be doing it, including you. So it's not simple. Okay? What we do is we work with the right lead generation strategies that are for you and you only and your business. You have to know that these one-size-fits-all strategies are not good for most people. They worked for whoever implemented them and started them, and some people here or there it'll work for. But generally speaking, most of them will not work for most people. So the quicker that you know that, the faster you can actually get to the dollars and the money. Your high ticket product offer also needs to have smaller things around it. And some people, free is really good, but for most people in 2024, people are willing to invest money regardless of whether you think they are or not. But in order for them to make a big step out to you, often they need to buy something small. And it could be 27, it could be 97, it could be 197. It doesn't matter the dollar amount that they're willing to invest in you. What matters is this is a process for them to learn more about you. And so you need to work with somebody that marries your high ticket offer into your product suite and with the right lead generation strategy for you. Most of you will need to collect a community using social media selling. Okay, most people. It doesn't mean that you are most people and you do the same thing as everyone else out there. That won't work for you at all. But you do need to understand that a community and using social selling is definitely a really good strategy for most coaches, consultants, and service providers. We close your deals. Listen, I've been doing high ticket for many, many years now, probably 30 plus years. And seriously, if you'll just really be following in my footsteps, you'll literally be using the same strategies. And then once we get those strategies working and, repeatedly for you, then we turn them into automated systems and methodologies that become just yours and yours alone. I do literally walk you through each step inside the Morrissey method, and it starts the very next week that you put your deposit down. You can 10 to 100 times your sales in 30 to 90 days or less, working less than 20 hours a week. If that's what the reality that you want to create, that's the one that we can set up. So it doesn't matter where you're starting. What really matters is that you can grow your business in this framework 20, 50, 100K. You see, learning how to market $1 million consulting or coaching business, it does require your uniqueness, but it definitely doesn't require you to go and get another degree or certification. Those things are actually holding you back, and they're like barriers. But that barrier is because there's something inside of your mind that you're not overcoming. So you're actually finding another way to stop yourself from getting to the money. If you want to be an entrepreneur, you do not need a certificate or certification. End of story. This little mini series is complete, right? If you've watched all 3 videos, then you are definitely in the completion stage. If you're watching the ending of this and it's, only on video 1, it just simply means when I say it's complete, they've all been recorded, they're all up in the group. If you want to inquire about any of the programs, please DM me. I will continue to share in the group different programs as we bring them up. And, just anything that I've learned that can help you too, I'll definitely add that into. So now that we know each other, you know me really well. I'm Kat. If you want to know anything, there's something in the group that you can download. Just go to the files section and you can learn a little bit more about me. You can click on the links and see stories, articles that I've been involved in. So you know that I'm real. I'm not some imaginary person that, is just on the internet trying to sell you something. That's not what I'm about by any stretch of the imagination. Thank you again for being here and in the Creator Series. I look forward to learning more about you and your business. Bye for now.